Hey, howdy, hey, you're on with the Juice Man, and this is Boat Game. I got a game for you today in the legendary tier Japanese aircraft carrier, the Hakuryu. I'm in a division with my good mate Homepath, and he's in the legendary tier British battleship, the Conqueror. This is a very battleship heavy game, one destroyer per team, two cruisers, a lot of potential damage to farm for, say, a couple of Conquerors and an aircraft carrier. The voice at the helm is Azraelian Shokaku. There's the commander and the modules on the ship. There's the stats on the planes. Just over 10,000 damage per torpedo, which I like. I like to spec very heavily into the torpedo bombers. We're throwing a pre-drop before we go out on our spotting run, sailing kind of up the middle of the map, spot as many people as possible before I pick a target. Drop some fighters down in mid, because the enemy carrier is kind of liking that area. And my first target's going to be the Schlieffen, because that's a dangerous ship that I feel needs to be dealt with sooner than later. Schlieffen's starting to turn out to kind of avoid the torps, but it's not going to work too well for him. I'm going to hit him. I'm going to pop my invincibility button, start making turn back, but I made this turn a little too tight. I'm not going to get a second drop on the Schlieffen. So I'm going to try to get a torp into this other battleship. Lose a plane, one torp, he's turning out. Odds aren't great, so back to the deck, off with another squadron. Now these planes have a accelerated under boost cruise speed of just under 200 knots. They absolutely rip. And if you're wondering about the look of the planes, this is the Stellar Clash camo for the Hakuryu. Kind of a futuristic sci-fi looking camo. I don't know, I'm a fan. Decided it's time to go pay a little bit of attention to A. Maybe figure out where this DD is, because he hasn't been spotted yet. And would you look at that, there he is. Not going to get a drop on him, and he's going into smoke, so I'm just going to ping him so everyone knows where he is, and carry on. I'll be back for him later. Flying directly into the monstrous AA cloud of what I think is this Montana. Trying to get at least a drop off on him, get a flood. My strat with this thing is to go in, flood someone, then go back and either flood them again or set them on fire. Seems to work out decently well. It was already mid-turn, so that drop wasn't super great, but I'm going to try to circle back around and get another drop off. Going in with one plane, almost a full dispersion drop. Jesus, take the wheel, and it looks good. Back to the carrier, grabbing the dive bombers. And there's a torp hit and a flood on that Montana. Unfortunately, I'm not going to make it back over there quick enough to get a fire and stack some damage over time on him like I'd like to, but I'm sure somebody puts a fire on him at some point. I need to focus on supporting the mid, because that daring was last spotted, nosed into that island west of B. They've now taken two of our battleships, and we haven't got any of their ships yet. We're down 3 battleships, and we haven't got any of their ships yet, as my division mate in the Conqueror gets himself a Witherer. So we're 6 against 9 now. Daring's in yet another smokescreen. He appears to be running some sort of Smogathon build, so I'm going to have a hard time catching him out of his smoke for the time that he has smokes. He pops up for a split second in the smoke. I just missed him with the blind drop. I'm going to circle back around. And there he is, setting yet another smoke screen. Now, my planes go unspotted here while I'm overflying the smoke screen, because I'm just out of range from Montana to spot him. I just tried to drop a couple more blind ones into the smoke there, but it's not going to be very fruitful at all. We finally managed to sink an enemy ship, so we're now 6 against 8. Looking a little bit better for us. And nada. But whatever, back to the torpedo bombers. And get my carrier moving towards Charlie, because it's away from the daring. There's a bunch of ships coming up to Charlie, so if I'm directly behind that island, that buys me a lot of time from getting ratioed. Hiroshima manages to drop the Petro on the enemy team, so we're 6 against 7 now, getting a little more evened out. Tulsa goes down, we're now 5 on 7. Fortunately, this Prince Ruprecht doesn't look too long for this world, but that Conqueror's very healthy and he's on my side of the map, so that needs to be dealt with. Pop my plane invincibility because Conqueror actually does have decent AA, and this is a hell of an AA cloud and flat cloud to be cruising these planes through, so I just want to save my planes for the flip side so I can actually have some HP in these planes while I'm turning the thing around. Also, I'm not by any means a great CV player. Like, I can't dodge flak to save my life. I just fly into it and hope for the best. There's the flood that I was looking for on the Conqueror. Time to go back with the bombers. Kronstadt takes down Petro. We're 4 on 6. And tragically, I can't quite go after the Conqueror right now. I know I just got the flood. It would be a great time to stack a DOT, but it's okay. He's still far enough away. I'll have time to get it set up again. I need to go deal with the Alpha Cap. And more importantly, the daring. Feeling is around here somewhere. My feeling is right. He's right here. Going for the drop with the bombers because honestly, I seem to have an easier time hitting bombs on DDs with this thing than I do torps. I smoke him with one right on the back. Incapacitate some. I can only assume it was his engine. He's sitting at about 1/3 of his health right now. Theoretically, should be not long for this world. And I don't know if that was the bot protection kicking in or what. My controller was on the entire time. It just did that thing where it just kind of flashes the light and disconnects. And it made me miss my opportunity to get another drop on him, which gave him all the time in the world to get into a smoke screen and not get absolutely ratioed by me. Honestly, that is bot protection if I've ever seen it. Get your tinfoil hats out, boys. That was it. Planes are getting shredded as I go for another drop on this Montana. Dispersion looks good. Bombs look good. Managed to hit all 3, but no fire. Back to the torpedoes. I need to deal with this guy over here. We're now 3 against 6. Home pass looking decently healthy in the middle of the map, but when you have the focus fire of many ships, including a carrier on you, that tends to not last very long. Presently, me and this Awami have some beef, as in he's live, and I don't feel he should be, so I'm going to go after him with some torpedoes. Kronstadt rams Hiroshima, gets himself a diehard, so we're now 2 versus 6. Hit 1 torp on the Awami. Unfortunately, it wasn't quite enough. He managed to get angled out. And I'm going for another run on the Conqueror. He takes a flood in the stern. Going back with the bombers.
戦終了まで残り5分よ。生き残ることを優先しましょう。
No fire. It's okay, we can swing back and try again. He's trying to turn, can drop anyway. No fire once again. Screw it. We're just gonna go torp him. Dropped him a little wide, but I got the dispersion you can only dream of with carrier-based torpedoes. Smoke him with both. He's decently low. I should be able to finish him off with the next salvo of torpedoes, as we break 100,000 damage. Being as battleship heavy as it was, this was a very, very healthy game, however. If I had been a little more thirsty to farm damage, we might not have won this game, but might have been able to pull out over 200k. Conqueror goes down to the second torp. I'm switching back to the bombers. Kronstadt takes out my division mate, gets himself a Kraken Unleashed, and it is now me against 5. I'm only up 99 points right now. There's 5 enemy ships on the board to me. They could easily get into B. They got 3 minutes. Catch up, kill me, try to flip B, try to contest C. This is a winnable game for them, 100%. But my palms were sweating. And it was time for the carry. Time for the clutch. I could feel Solo Warrior on the horizon. I knew it was possible. I just had to make it happen. Iwami from earlier. Sailing straight Linus. Gonna hit him with 2 torps. Find the location of the enemy aircraft carrier right there, so I'm gonna turn to get as far away from him as possible. Iwami goes down to torps. I drop the squadron because he's gonna either get chased by fighters or make it back safely, which is what I'm hoping for. Looks like we're gonna get at least 4 of those back. Got myself some fighters to keep the enemy CV from sniping me, but fortunately he's got the bombers out and CVs don't pen Hakuryu's deck. It's got like 90 millimeters of deck armor. It just doesn't happen. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get this drop off quick enough to get the reset, but daring spotted, start the drop, full reticle, maximum dispersion drop, absolutely smoke him with a bomb. You'll love to see it. Montana from earlier, he's sitting on just the slightest little bit of health, so on top of the point swing from killing the Iwami, I'm going to pick up a few points killing this Montana as well. It's going to put me pretty healthily in the lead. So the 2 caps the enemy team now has will not be enough to swing the points in their favor. Montana goes down to my bombers, and I'm grabbing the torps. I'm moving my carrier up and away from the, let's say, surface ships with the big guns that can actually do big damage to me. And I'm trying to limit my engagement to just me and the daring. There's 1:20 left in this game. He's not going to be able to catch up and torp me. My only real threats are the capital ships and the carrier. So getting myself away from the capital ships, limiting my engagement, is going to help me out massively. Coming in for the torp drop on the daring, but he's decently well concealed and he's already aimed at me, so I'm just going to drop him. Spin the squadron around, go for the second drop. We take a good hit there, but we're still angling up and away. Daring still wants us. That torp looks pretty good. I'm going to take off with the HE bombs. I'm going to move, and as you can see, I do hit that torp for 4,500. He's hurting. But we're less than 30 seconds. No way he's going to get torps on me. Nobody's got an angle to even shoot at me besides him. Solo Warrior is pretty firmly in the bag. 15 seconds on the clock. Still very much up on point. Going for a bomb drop on the daring. Unfortunately, I started my drop a little too soon. These planes don't glide forward nearly as much as I'd like them to. But at the last millisecond, I drop them. Yeah, 3 defender ribbons at the last second. Game's over and I get my solo warrior. You'll love to see it. That team was mauling. They were so mad. So we wrap off the game with 134,939 damage, 13 ships spotted, 17 torpedo hits, 8 bombs, 26 planes shot down, 4 incaps, 3 kills, 1 fire, 5 floods, 3 defenders, a solo warrior medal, and a clear sky. We came second on the team with 2,649 base experience right after my division mate in the Conqueror, who really set up the solo warrior for me with 2,938 base experience. So, if you like what you see, hit subscribe, hit like. If you hate carriers, leave a comment and tell me all algorithm is good algorithm. If you think carriers are stupid, tell me. If you think carriers are great, tell me. Really, I don't care. They're in the game, and I've already been told time and time again they're here to stay, so if you can't solve the problem, become the problem. With that, I'll catch you all on the flip side. Peace.